esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here from Kiev Cybersports Arena for our final match of day number 2. This one is going to be a doozy. It's the Evil Geniuses versus NaVi. Last time they faced with their current rosters, it was a 2-0 sweep in favor of EG. They did one game in 9 minutes, the other in 34, but that was on 6.81, and that was in China. I'm LDFB on the summit. I'm joined here to Cinderin. Sind, you said 85, I think it was 85-15 in favor of EG. You're pretty confident in them. I am as well, but perhaps NaVi, the crowd will get behind them.
After that, just because you wanted to.
No, I said 100-0 after that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm an American.
Well, even casting this, it's already decided, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, these are great teams. Anyone at this tournament is at least capable of taking a game off of another team, but these are BO3s, and that's where maybe NaVi has a clever draft, but can they evolve, and can EG respond in turn? We'll find out soon. The draft underway. So let's dive into it. Bans have begun. In terms of the bans, NaVi removed the Razor of Arteezy. He has talked at length about how strong he thinks the hero is. It won't be available. They also ban out the Scarth Mage. The bans from EG, removing the Phonic Bat. This seems to be a pretty common trend when teams face off against NaVi, and I think fairly so. Then the Ogre banned. And it's a first overall pick, Jakiro for EG. Then the Wisp Gyrocopter is the reply. Wisp is normally not a go-to hero for NaVi by any means. Pretty rare to see them first phase it. So they are switching things up.
But Vanskar plays it very well. Yeah. I think he's one of the better IO players. I would not put him in no-tail category because he kind of has a tier for himself. And probably also the only team in this tournament that it will consistently get banned out against. I think a team like NaVi will be able to grab it quite frequently going forward. And the more surprising thing to me is actually not that they get IO early on, because we've already started to see it's not only Secret running it. Team Tinker picked it in the last series. Now it's NaVi in its first phase pretty much every single time, so it's kind of making a resurgence here. The big surprise for me is that they couple it with a gyro in the first phase. That's really unusual, and it doesn't really make sense against a Jakiro opener. There's nothing where you're just like, yeah, gyro counters this Jakiro totally.
Gotta call down that Macropyre.
Better pick than Brewmaster for sure.
Fight fire and ice with rockets.
But maybe the idea for NaVi is just that they want to try to run over EG in the laning phase, and it's just like a really aggressive carry that can get kills.
Yeah, you can go aggressive with the Wisp and Gyro. We have not seen too much of that style of Dota lately, and it seems the dual lanes are more popular. Early roaming's a bit more popular, but the option's always there. And for EG, they go for a Brewmaster, so they get heavy team fight. This hero has been largely banned in the first phase. We did see a Brew today. I think you and I were casting that game. It was a bit underwhelming. Can EG make better use of it? Fear has been playing quite a good Brew as of late. They've had Zai play, I think, one game on it fairly early on when Fear was still recovering from his wrist injury. Or was it elbow, whatever the injury was. But Lion pick up quite early from NaVi. They get burst damage versus this Brew.
It's funny because this is reminding me of one particular game at TI4 actually that we cast together. It was Team DK versus LGD, I think, and that was the third and deciding match of the game, I think, of who would get knocked out and who would continue in the lower bracket.
Right.
And DK just picked 5 trademark heroes, and they didn't care what they were up against. They like first phase picked 2 heroes that no one ever picks. Then they grabbed the Lion and a Shadow Fiend for Mushi in that as well.
And they wrecked too. Mushi got his mech. MMY was everywhere with the smoke ganks and the hexes.
And they just seemed so much inside their own comfort zone that it almost didn't matter what heroes they gave away. And for me, this looks like a NaVi that are coming into the game with a fresh mindset. They're like, okay, maybe DK's mindset in that game was different, that they were the favorites. They could get away with it, whatever they wanted. For me, this is NaVi just saying, okay, we know that we need to play aggressive, we need to play our style, and we're going to choose our picks for it. Like another surprising pick here, Beastmaster. NaVi are pulling out 2 heroes that we haven't seen all tournament in the same phase of the draft.
Saving strats for the
combined with an opener nobody uses. So this is very exciting.
I'm really looking forward to this.
EG pulling out some classic EG pushing lineups.
Is there any way we could maybe see a Tinker? The hero's been nerfed pretty heavily, but the Beastmaster and Wisp, it would be a nice pick if they could get his farm up. And it does help you against 5-man push.
And Dendy definitely plays it still.
Can they squeeze it in? Is
he
it
got
too
nerfed
greedy?
fairly hard. Maybe that's even an understatement. He got nerfed really hard.
He got the nerf bat.
But it's possible that if you build a lineup around it, that you can still run it. I would say the good old days when Tinker was like a first or second pick, just pretty much regardless of lineup, are gone. But now he can be a situational. I think most teams have just thrown him away and completely forgotten about him. But maybe NaVi haven't. We're going to see. I still don't think it's a Tinker.
It at least seems to me like the Dendy heroes out there. And they only have, for now, called out an Axis to D-push. EG go for Elder Titan. Heavy AoE, heavy wombo combo. No carry as of yet. But they get the Xayah Enigma, another hero that we have not seen too much of lately. There are quite a few solutions for his Black Hole, the Roar, the Lion Hex, the Lion Impale. But
Homing missile.
Jesus. If that's your game plan, then just GG out any minute. Do EG commit to some sort of 5-man strat?
Oh, this is very classic EG style of what they played at the International 4, right? They picked extremely heavy team fight. They picked an Enigma jungle whenever they could get it for Xayah. They haven't used it all tournament, but I think what they're realizing here is with NaVi running the IO Gyrocopter, the chance of them running a very scary, aggressive trialing might not be that low. I think they're going to be playing
as well.
And the line. They're going to be playing aggressively in their lane, but I don't think it's going to be the safe lane of EG they'll be challenging. So they can get away with a greedy jungler, and I think it's a good call. But there's one thing we haven't accounted for. This Lion could be solo mid. And then suddenly they can run a really sick trialing with IO Gyro plus a really good lane support and maybe challenge EG on that lane. I think that would be a pretty cool idea here for NaVi.
EG are not thinking that. They ban out the Puck, which is kind of your middle-of-the-road, safe, well-rounded option. It's a Dendy hero. It has some D-push. It's a good silence to have versus the Brew. It's a playmaker that can move around with the Gyrocopter Wisp. It's a safe ban. But it's a Poot! A Pudge. The Pootka.
I was asking for this earlier today, saying I hope NaVi will try to get something like this for Dendy and really let him shine. And
oh, baby.
the question is how good that pick is, though. There's nothing here, like in this particular game, I think there would have been other games where it would have been a better pick for NaVi, but I just love seeing them feeling free, right? This is just a new team compared to the games earlier.
No worries, man. Like, just Dota.
And there's Ember Spirit. That's the last pick for Evil Geniuses. So Pudge, generally very good against fragile heroes that you can hook Dismember and get a kill on. Evil Geniuses, if there's one thing this lineup is, it's tanky, pretty much, I think it's fair to say. Even the Ember Spirit, if you hook him and Dismember him, and he has Flame Guard on, he's not going to care about the Dismember rot.
Yeah, you basically will chew through the Flame Guard and that's it. So you'll need a +1 to get that kill. But it's a Dendy Pudge on LAN in Kiev. You can't ask for more than that. And EG looking calm and collected. Don't seem phased by the Pudge pick. It's certainly a curveball. It's been a long time since NaVi ran this in a big game. They may have run it in an online match here or there, but I cannot recall. I mean, I think we were talking about this, was it yesterday or when we were walking back to the hotel? I'm not sure. It might have been like a year or more since they've run this here on the big stage. Well, let's see how it works out. Let's get ready to rumble. EG, the favorites coming into this one. Let's see if they can push through with that early start. EG on the dire side. You've got some sort of video issue here. Do I need to replug my cable or? I don't have a voice.
Don't know.
I'm gonna try it.
That's a good point because this is just.
I think he might have stepped away.
Yep. Yeah, you got it. Nice.
All right, now I lost my monitor. All right.
No picnic.
Magic at the last second. All right, and we'll introduce the teams. Okay, EG, Fear will be playing your safe lane Brew. No surprise there. PPD. The Jakiro, that puts Arteezy onto the Ember Spirit. Going to the offlane for now is Xayah to deny creep is the Enigma. And then Universe will be your offlane Elder Titan. For NaVi, speed introductions. Funnick, the offlane Beastmaster. Going mid will not be the Pudge. They give him a safe lane farm, and to be honest, he's not the strongest laner, so I kind of like this from them. They run the Wisp Gyro. They have cleared off the trees, so they can go for the double stacking. That'll be Vangscore playing the Wisp, Havost on the Gyrocopter, one of his signature heroes. Dendy running that safe lane Pudge with a very nice set, by the way.
Yeah, this is his, what's this called? This is the kind of all the items have unique names, but this is the one that came in connection
Self-made murder mask.
This was the one in connection
Free-to-play,
with
right?
free-to-play. So this is Dendy's Pudge set, which I don't think I've seen him even use in an official match, because since free-to-play came out, I don't think he's played it once. Like,
probably in pubs, but yeah, not
sure,
in an official
but
match. And last but not
to
least,
see.
FNG will be your line. Okay, Sin, so what do you think about the lanes?
Overall, I guess, well, the top lane is going to be really difficult for the Beastmaster, playing into this, obviously.
We're not using my camera, apparently.
The Jakiro, oh, okay. The Jakiro Brewmaster can harass him pretty well while Zai farms. So for me, the most important thing is the mid lane. How well can Hvost and the IO of Vanscore hold down Arteezy? Because the trade-off right now is that there is an Enigma free farming the jungle. And NaVi are trading that off for pulling with a Lion, which is an awful trade, let's be honest. That's easily favoring EG. And Universe playing against this dual lane bottom should be able to get quite a bit as well. So, advantage EG, I would say. It's already... Wow, look at that graph. Like, that's going really quickly.
Now, one good thing for NaVi is they can clear stacks pretty well. They've got Pudge with... Oh, they nearly finish off Arteezy already in the mid lane. But yeah, they've got the Pudge, who with the support of a Wisp heal item can bring them down. Gyrocopter, once he gets call down, can. They have great stack clear, and they can catch up to a certain extent from that. But for the time being, they undoubtedly will continue to slip behind. That Enigma just offers too much at this stage. Do EG snowball with that? Yeah, you can see Valat drawing, pointing out that there's quite a bit of stacking going on.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw EGM do a lot in the Dire side, and Vanscore perfectly times it here, getting a double triple stack, which is actually not easy to do on the Radiant side here, so very nicely timed. And that's a lot of farm going, probably the way of Hvost later on.
Yeah, NaVi are putting the hurt on Arteezy, and the thing is running this Enigma jungle, they're not able to stack for him too much. It's the Enigma taking that farm, so with a slow start, he may struggle a bit.
Interesting.
Rocket picked up. Level 2 Rocket.
He's maxing homing missile, which I like a lot personally for the mid lane matchup, especially if he was playing one-on-one. He would just harass out and buy a bottle, and I think the bottle might be coming out for the IO here. No, it's not. He doesn't have the gold yet. But just a nice harassment ability. Becomes really a really good trade-off mana for damage when you level it up to level 4. It's 150 mana for a 500 max damage if it travels far, but even the minimum damage is pretty decent. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays with that skill build. That's a very unusual one.
Well,
I hope you got control of your camera at some point.
No, I don't know, man. We can hear him, but he can't hear us.
Well, now we can legitimately blame the camera work on someone else, right? That's good. This time it's not your fault.
It's because he doesn't trust me to catch kills. That's fine. This is an indictment of my camera work. Well, we'll make the best of it for now. So great farm on Fear's Brew safe lane. And let's see, what's he picked up? The bottle for now, which probably means the Blink Dagger will be next. Doubt we'll see Arcane's end bottle for him. So it should be a fairly timely blink. Zai doing really well in this Dire jungle. Already level 5 at sub 4 minutes. Off to a fantastic start. I think I have camera back now.
Nice. And I don't even think Zai got the perfect rotation here or the perfect creep spawns. I think he got like kind of unlucky once or twice. Because by Zai standards, I think when you're playing the Enigma jungle, you want to be level 6 at about 5 minutes. And I don't think he can pull that off here.
Well, FNG, that's a fortunate invisor. And without that, I think Universe can consider clubbing him to death. Now going for a bit of a body block. They'll make a jaunt for Funnick towards the top lane. It's quiet for now, but both teams need their levels. Your Enigma, you want to get your level 6 ideally, get that mechanism out as quickly as possible. For the Brewmaster, the Blink Ultimate needs to come online. Even for Pudge, this is a fairly level-dependent hero up to like level 7 to 9 or so. Maxing the hook is the big thing. And then we may see some aggression as Arteezy continues to be harassed in this mid lane. The Rocket comes in, and it's just so annoying. You can't even farm in the lane. Look at the damage as well. You continue to run so they don't kill you, and then you take extra damage from the Rocket.
It is very powerful like this. I like the build a lot here coming out from Hvost. But
it is a little concerning, though, if they don't get something done in the next 5 minutes, because then you go to the mid game, right, and EG just death balls you with the mech, with the Brew Split. You don't have max flag cannon. Even Rocket Barrage likely to be more useful in those big team fights.
NaVi have a really good counter push hero, though, in the Pudge, which is not your traditional counter push pick because you usually get some sort of wave clear. But if there's one thing that messes up pushing strategies is if one of the core heroes gets pulled out 1,000 range from where they want a death ball. Because then you're not a death ball anymore. Then you've got like a little snowflake that falls off, and that just gets eaten. And then you're kind of, your entire snowball just ends there. So it's going to be interesting to see if Navi can pull that off. I think the game plan here is let Dendy get exactly level 7 and then move him, because you don't want Pudge standing AFK in that safe lane. The problem is, though, from a drafting perspective, they don't have anyone who can take over that farm and be really useful with it.
First blood, likely to go into Funnick. They've used a brew split, and EG will claim it. They even TP'd in their Lion, but he was cyclone up into the air. Couldn't get much done while the Wisp and Gyro look to make a rotation. They know the brew split's down. Ideally, you'd like to be able to punish this a bit. And that Pudge, as you mentioned, you don't just want to leave him bottom. Dendy hits level 6. He's got his magic stick complete. Generally, we see him go for an urn as his first big item. And from there, you expect him to start roaming. Ideally, you'd want the Wisp to be level 6 and the Lion to have, well, FNG's only 2, so I guess it'll be a while to be able to at least get involved in these ganks.
And another thing we haven't talked about with the Pudge is what counters are there to him, right? We said he's good against fragile heroes, which EG don't really have, but what else? What can stop Dismember? There's an Ice Path, which has about the same range as Hook, so there's some counterplay potential from PPD. The Enigma will probably get a Blink Dagger at some point, and even the Astral Spirit into Echo Stomp later on can also stop it. So.
And the chains as well.
And even the Slide to Change, so I think EG have solutions, but one of the solutions, Elder Titan, is extremely underleveled. Like, Universe got destroyed in this game. He's level 2. The Beastmaster of Funnick is level 4, and he also had a bad time, so kind of put things in perspective. But it's still pretty clear golden experience lead for EG, getting first blood and farming Enigma jungle. And for me, this game, you know, it's kind of the nature of Pudge. Whenever that hero is picked, it's all about Pudge. It's like when Meepo is picked, right? He's like a flavor hero where when it works out well, it works out really well. If it doesn't, you kind of fall to the ground. And so it's all eyes on Dendy for me, because he needs to play a really big role in the up-and-coming 10 minutes now.
Yeah, as a commentator, as a viewer, as a player, like, everything's magnified, because the times when you get to play those types of heroes in big games, very few and far between, and, well, they just have a boom or bust potential, generally speaking. Look at Universe in the offlane. We haven't talked too much about this. They gave up a first blood on the Beastmaster, but this Elder Titan's not even level 3. We're 6.5 minutes in. It's come at a cost for FNG, but I think a worthy one. If you're going to slow down Elder Titan, keeping levels off of that hero is the ideal way to do it. And with the Enigma constantly clearing the woods, by the way, they did ward to try and slow down any stack potential. It's tough to catch up. It's not like you can just walk in and leech experience off a big creep stack. We'll have an extended pause here. Navi were complaining about lag. Not sure what the ETA is. Hopefully not too long.
Usashi kommt lagiert.
Puskoto podayat.
Pudoidet. I don't know what this means.
Sounds good, though.
Thanks. I tried. I have no idea how
Not
close
you,
that was.
dude.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Put me on camera in my most fragile moment right here.
I could just see that tear forming in the corner of your eye.
Well, yeah, like you said, a little bit of an extended pause. Yeah, there we go. Put LD on solo cam. Do something funny for us, David. Yeah.
That's all I got. It's late.
Man, that was really funny.
All right.
Well, hopefully, I'm not sure still what exactly is wrong with it.
Our producer is laughing at us.
I think.
He just went, ha ha, in my ear. I hate you, Roman. Just kidding. All right. So, anyway.
Yeah. So, sounds like a resume. Thank you for saving us, teams, in this very amazing moment. Let's see something more interesting than LD's face. It's going to be the mid lane.
I guess I burned that with all my flames today, so well deserved. They did get their run on the Pudge now. Denny's about to hit 7. Generally, we see him buy a lot of his own smokes early on. Not sure if we'll do that this game, but you know he wants to get aggressive.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think like you'd rather even have farm on your Wisp and your Lion up to a certain point over the Pudge. So I would kind of like it if he buys those smokes.
I think he's going to get the Tranquils now, a TP scroll, and then smokes and start ganking, because he has all the tools now. He wants to start filling up the urn. The Tranquils allows him, they allow him to hook, rot, and dismember while still regenning, and has better movement speed with them too. So a very nice pickup for Pudge in general. And hopefully we can see Dendy making some good hooks in this game. It is really a hit or miss hero, quite literally. So
here comes that death ball. EG grouping up. Level 3 liquid fire for PPD. Split cooling down in 20. Blink online. Zai close to a mech. Chainmail picked up Treads. Actually, not that close, and a Soul Rain, but, well, tanky and ready to fight is another way to put it. Universe is here, only 3, but with how strong the rest of the squad surrounding him is, I don't know that they need a highly leveled Elder Titan to force this. Dendy is scouted out as well. He did not smoke yet, so they know he's waiting around for a hook. It just takes one hook sometimes, Sind, you know?
Yeah.
And he finds one now, reels PPD in, but there's backup. Wisely, Dendy doesn't engage. Follett just went absolutely bonkers.
He just wanted to show them that he can hit.
Yeah. Just so you know,
just
I'm
showing
waiting.
off. If you try this on my next tower, I'm there earlier next time.
I'll have teammates at some point. Just not yet. They have cooldown for a boast, and he did use it to clear out this first big stack, and this may be where the recovery can begin for Navi after falling behind early. The graph still goes against them in terms of gold. Experience tips their way, but we do have to remember that's a tower that EG have taken down. Still Navi looking for their first one. Fear is just perched on the high ground here. Hook attempted. Doesn't connect. But as Dendy will be the first to tell you, it's not about the hooks you don't hit. It's about the ones you do. I'll just keep on firing.
But it's going to be tricky against Arteezy because of the really low cast point on Activate Fire Remnant. I don't think you can actually hook chain, like hook into Dismember against an Ember Spirit who has a Spirit down already. He can just spam.
They do have Roar and Hex, so potentially they can use that to start
if they combine with that, then they can definitely bring down Arteezy. But they need to be... The timing needs to be really crisp. That's also what I said in the start. This is not, for me, the stereotypical Pudge game. Of course, I'm really happy to see it, but Dendy still needs to get some value out of this pick right now.
I do want to mention, since we were talking about a potential homing missile max, it was not maxed by Avos. Just took 2 points early. There's a little plink mid lane. No follow-up, though. Dendy's just hiding in the tree line. And, you know, with Pudge Sin, I think another important tactic for him is just not being on the map.
Yep.
Sort of like a Night Stalker at night. The less they see you, the more they're scared, the more they're forced to group. EG are smoke, but again, it's still like they're clumping, and they're not. It's not like they're off split pushing with the Ember and confidently jungling AFK with the Enigma. They do not want to get picked apart. So Dendy continues to stay off the map. Now he's back at his own tier 2s, just sitting behind the Wisp and the Gyro, playing defense as a Pudge for now.
And meanwhile, in the bot lane, FNG is just leeching XP here. Also staying out of vision. Might be able to... if there's some sort of TP support bot lane, they could have perhaps sniped out Zai here, but he will be retreating instead. It's going to be not the earliest mech Zai has ever had, but it's still a 10-minute mech with Treads and Soul Ring, so great timing. 75 CS in 10 minutes is pretty exceptional. And in my book, Zai probably also, out of any of the pro players, the fastest farmer on Enigma. So to be expected that he gets this amount of farm.
I think Navi want to fight
and
bottom.
This mech is going to be big, but it's not out yet.
They're leaving FNG in the tree line. He has a TP. He could leave if they wanted to sack this tower. Maybe he will. The Spirit went to the left, fortunately for him, or EG would have gotten eyeballs on him and potentially killed him off. Fear got roared, but then he just TPs the hell away. There was a split ready. So Roar's down now.
Oh, FNG tried for the deny.
Now he TPs out, and he can get out in time. Did not get the deny, though. And they're diving mid lane onto Arteezy. The rocket's going to hit before he can remnant out. Nice kill by Navi. And that's what you want to be doing with this Gyrocopter Wisp. They even TP'd in Fear. He's going to walk up the ramp. He's just out of range, though. Can't get in close. They'll tether again. And they even drop a homing missile and look to re-engage. There's an Observer Ward, though, that spawns Dendy as he walks up this mid-ramp. Plus, it's dead daytime, but a pretty big kill there. 700 gold swing. Well, counting the tower, it's not really. But they keep this game fairly close, considering they're 2 towers down. Considering their lineup is more of a spread the map-style draft for this stage of the game. They're hanging on decently.
Yeah, this is okay so far. I still feel like EG are the ones getting the more out of this, but Navi are by no means losing out very heavily at this point, so they can still make the most of their situation. The really important thing for me for Navi here is that Vanscore's level 7. The clearing out the stacks together with the Gyrocopter as well as getting that kill 2-on-1 on Arteezy has given them so much experience that the relocate ganks are available. And not only that, they're available at level 4 spirits. And IO Pudge is a really good relocate combo, so we could perhaps see them trying to go for some plays with that.
And they have FNG level 6, so they've gotten levels on their line too.
Oh, Dendy's going to get Ice Path here. Have the rune snatched as well.
Does he
He's
get a route
not going to be happy
TP
about
attempted.
this. Will almost
Close
make
one.
it out.
Yeah, they didn't have any more
He's going to get out of that, but that last Activate Fire Remnant from Arteezy got the job done.
Yeah, needed that little extra burst, and Well, for a Pudge, deaths aren't really the big deal, but he's also not making plays, which is the bigger concern of O's. No cooldown, still engaging into EG. This might be overzealous. He gets Malefist. Black Hole is ready. They'll relocate out just like an inch back. They kind of needed a fountain trip there, I think.
Yeah.
They might have to walk back now.
I think they were worried that EG were going to commit there and start diving, and then they wanted to have the turnaround potential still there. If they relocate to the fountain there, they basically leave Lion alone, and then they would have killed FNG if that was the case. But yeah, you're right. A relocate to fountain would definitely have been better in this case. And EG, they got Dendy. They got some damage. Oh, well, they actually didn't get any damage on the mid-tier 1. I thought they started hitting that, but the call down and just the overall intimidation from us there defended it very nicely.
Yeah, NaVi, that's where the Gyrocopter pick and the Beastmaster are so crucial for this team, because the other three heroes have, like, literally no D-push. We're still waiting for that first real hook. The one top was just a teaser. And so far, the Pudge pick, I mean, it just hasn't done much. But that can change very quickly. And he is smoked indeed. Rocket's going to come through. He could walk down into the river and go for that hook, but Arteezy just jumped so far back. And Dendy now still waiting. When you run this Pudge, it's very important to keep your vision out so that he knows where the hook opportunities lie. He's in the middle of the river. There's going to be a hawk for the Beastmaster that gets insta-gibbed by a universe. Nukin now, he's just down in the river. He goes for the hook, though. He found Arteezy, manages to get off the roar, the follow-up axe to secure that kill. Got him, but do they get more after this? The Brew split onto Vangscore. Relocate out is ready. FNG retreating with the rest of his team. Dendy walks in. He wants to take the bullet here, so the rest of the squad emerges intact. And in fact, they get another hook. They reel in PPD. Mech is there. Zai just melts to the call down, and NaVi, they use this Pudge to take out 4. What a fantastic fight from them from start to finish. A hook to start, a roar and an axis from the high ground to follow, then the 2-hero Lion Impale, followed up by a Pudge hook, and the call down from Avos makes a Black Hole pointless. You can't ask for a better fight, Sint.
Yeah, that's one of the problems that EG's lineup actually has now that we haven't talked about so much. They have very poor single target damage, so Dendy can play with a lot of confidence. Even Hrost, when he's tethered up like this with the overcharge running, they just don't have a solution for that. They are going to get a kill on FNG in this moment, though. Might pursue a little bit more, but there's no slide of fist.
That's a lot of remnants from Arteezy. He's committed, and he's only got 1 to retreat, but they make it 2 kills in exchange. So I think in the end, what's that, a 4 for 2, or was it 4 for 3? Counting the earlier fight, not too bad for EG. Damage control was there, but they're having trouble pushing against this Gyrocopter of Havos. Zai is still waiting for a Black Hole. Is this the time when he uses it? Midnight Pulse, you still not Black Holing. There are a lot of ways to cancel it, and the second that you go for that, you may just get hooked, but NaVi hold this tier 1. They are determined not to give it up. And in fact, they get their first tower of the game, albeit it's a deny, but just opening up the map in any way, shape, or form for a Pudge is always important. I like this Beastmaster pick as well. Like, they're getting some good vision for Dendy.
It's one of the heroes that makes a lot of sense in a single core lineup, like the one NaVi has with Hrost, having to scale very well into this game. And the one thing they've definitely accomplished is getting Hrost ahead in this game. He's about 2k net worth ahead of the Enigma, who's the highest farmer on EG, so he's doing great for himself. And you buff that up with Overcharge as well as the Inner Beast aura. He is going to hit so incredibly fast that once the damage items come up, he's also way more tanky because of the 20% damage reduction from Vangscore and the healing that's going to be coming later on. When you tailor a lineup like this and you get a Pudge early on to just buy time for Rust and make it hard for EG to get around the map, I think he can carry it himself with the tether, or not himself, right, but being the only carry. Even should this game extend to 45 minutes, he might be able to pull it off. This is a BKB Yasha phase at 16.
Yeah, and they also have really good single target lockdown. Roar, Hex, Dismember isn't the best initiation on Ember, but it's good follow-up. I think even if this Ember gets incredibly farmed, like, Arteezy can easily be dealt with later on this game, and therefore EG have to fight as a team. But when they're busy doing that, NaVi are spreading the map, and that's where just the Wisp strategy overall starts to work out for them, Sin. They're hiding their line in the trees. They have a relocate ready to go. They may bring in the full squad. Arteezy is so close to getting Hexed, Impaled, and just finished. And he walks to the side shop. The Impale's there. The trap is sprung. Hex, Finger, no Flame Guard. Another pick off. And they look for more. Zai got caught. Calldown's waiting. NaVi pounce. And they bring down 2. Man, they are bringing their killer instinct to this opening game of the set.
Incredible patience there from FNG. He stood in here for a good 45 seconds, I think. And even when the Enigma came forward, at this spot, he was just waiting. Enigma pulled out. Then they got Arteezy's move into the corner, just as they were hoping for. And this brings 2 kills as well as a tier 1 with it. That's a very big play right there.
This Ember has 4.8k net worth, and Havost has 10.3. I can't stress enough not only how farmed Havost is, but how poor Arteezy is. Sure, you have an Elder Titan to buff you up a little bit, but like, what does he have now? Phase drums when Havost has a Yasha, BKB, and 2k gold? It's going to be hard for him.
He is probably not even going to be killable when he's BKB'd right now for the EG squad. If he's BKB'd, overcharged, and IO doesn't die, they can keep him going. So it's a really spoiled position to be in as a carry 18 minutes in, that you can go in close and just fight, especially as a gyrocopter, without being too worried about being burst down. So there's a lot of opportunities that NaVi can take very, very soon.
Hook to fly, reel him in, a no hex. FNG, I guess, wasn't able to click him in time with that as he got pulled. And now they turn on to Denny. Ice Pat just off the mark. Had the right angle, though. And they, if nothing else, are putting the fear of God into Arteezy. He's going for a little bit of farm here there, but it's very difficult. Havost has a BKB, and they jump on to Arteezy. Call down used. Did he drop a remnant? Oh, that call down just missing. Fear caught by it, and the flat cannon nearly finishes off Artur. Can he retreat out? Remnant bringing him low. They did manage to catch the Vayne score Wisp, and he's down. Havost just beaking a beeline, but he needs help. Hook, let's save him. Dendy reels in his old comrade, and he retreats out to safety. And that's another capability of the Pudge, that free, extremely long-range Force Staff that doesn't care which way you're facing.
And that was a really good trade for NaVi, too. They lost a hero, but that was with Brewmaster Split, Enigma Black Hole, and they got the tower.
And it was just the
And they got a position 4 hero for that.
This is a Midas from Universe. He's had a really rough start. And with the way Arteezy's farming, perhaps they need more out of somebody else. Dendy's looking for a hook, and there you go. It's a homing missile to set it up. We see this combo in action now. Universe should take
down the
live
because of Tranquils here. This is getting really close, and there's the mech.
Oh, man. That was
if only Dendy
close.
would have got 1 attack off there.
Yeah, if they broke in the Tranquils, that's a kill. My goodness, though. With no black hole, with no split, can you even hold this push?
I don't know what you do if you're EG without your big cooldown ultimates right now. This lineup from NaVi is just way superior when there's no split. Just the split. Even if black hole is available, I don't think EG can fight without the primal split. So
another so we saw something cool there, right? Which is the homing missile into hook. That's a really nice combo.
Yeah, homing missile gives the flying vision of the target until... Was it all the way until it hits, or for a few seconds after you cast it or something? I can't remember.
I'm not exactly sure.
I think there's flying vision for a short time, and then it obviously tracks the target down, so you can see where it's moving, but you can't see the exact position of the target the whole time.
That's a cool combo. Having the Wisp to move the Pudge around is very cool, and I also like the Beastmaster pick. Just for the we'd mentioned it briefly. The Hawk Vision is fantastic as well. Like, you pick a Pudge, that's one thing, but it's a hero that you really have to pick around. You can't just randomly pick a Pudge and expect it to work. And well, NaVi so far seem to be having a nice draft to surround it. They're off to a great start. They're up by now a steady climb from down 4k gold to up 3k. That's a 7k gold swing over, what is that, the past 8-9 minutes or so. They have map control. Everything looks good for now. But they have not exactly broken the base. Still tier 2 standing for EG. They're also have time to cool down. And it is dangerous for NaVi to 5-man. If they 5-man later on this game, they risk getting caught by a Blink Black Hole, by a Blink Split into that, maybe by a Stomp into Ice Path. EG are at their best when you come to them, and they could just find their openings to initiate.
And that's one of the really good things with getting the Midas here for Universe. You could say they're playing from behind, maybe it's a little greedy, but I think more important than anything is the experience rather than the gold. They need to get Echo Stomp and Earth Splitter available. He's currently only level 8, 22 minutes in on a position 3. That's pretty much unheard of for Universe standards. He's been crippled.
Dire offlane Elder Titan. The creeps come a little bit closer to the tower now than the previous patch, but you don't have a camp to pull, and they did a good job of zoning him out. EG are going to smoke, but it's from a very deep location, way behind their tier 2, and they rotate up the ramp. There's an invis here. It's denied by the Beastmaster Boar. They just walk past it calmly. but they're finding nothing. Maybe they can make this jump on mid, but there's a Pudge sitting back. They might just be able to hook Havost out, and it's possible that EG ends up wasting a lot here trying to kill him off. The Wisp is back at the well. EG see only one hero mid, and they just decide that is too risky. There's probably more lurking behind
That
them.
was a very good call to back out from right there. They would have been crushed, I think, in that fight. So, or not have been crushed, but they would have wasted their smoke to go in and show off where they were, and wouldn't have brought anything with it. Dendy would either hook out Havost or hook out whoever jumps in on him, and either way, Havost gets his BKB off. So
yeah, and then maybe waste a big ult or two.
He has an MKB too. What is his GPM in this game? 611. 23 minutes in with only 4 kills.
It goes back to the Wisp pick.
Pretty
This would not have happened without the Wisp. Vayne's score was constantly stacking the camps mid, and he farmed them effectively. And you pointed out early on, and rightly so, the Enigma was ahead, but that's where the Wisp is a great comeback support. Doesn't get off to the fast start Enigma does, but if you have a carry that can clear those stacks, you can march right back into the game.
This gyro is just
gigantic.
Absurdly far.
He's 6.5K gold up on the enemy Enigma, who's the most farmed hero for EG. I mean, forget about Arteezy. Havost was doubling up. Now he's more than doubling him up. 4, 0, and 2. It's a beast copter. I wish he was bloodlusted and BKB'd so he'd be like double the size of everyone else, because that is how large he looms in this game right now.
And there's just no solution. It's centered around spread damage, and
you're up against one big tank.
One extremely heavily farmed gyrocopter and a Pudge, and you can't go on either of them. This is a big item pickup for Zai, but once again the problem is it's not about the control for EG, it's about whether they can bring down the targets, and the BKB on Enigma doesn't solve that. Arteezy needs to get items, and he's not getting anywhere. Universe will build utility on his Elder Titan. That's not any damage. He'll get a Force Staff. And Brewmaster will already start reaching the point soon when he falls off. We're 25 minutes into the game. Only seeing 12 kills is very uncharacteristic for NaVi. More characteristic for EG, I would say. But strategically, NaVi are just winning this game by the minute.
How you mentioned the Brew split. Like, Gyro is one of the better heroes to kill that. Flat Cannon collateral damage alone. Well, just the Fire Pan is dead within like what, 3 flaks maybe, perhaps a bit more than that. And then you have a little bit of control, but damage is what they're going to need as it goes on. And even with an Elder Titan, you've got to get at least 1, 2 items on Arteezy. Still that Battle Fury. How far off is it? He's just got the Claymore. It's such a long journey for him.
Starved. This is very, very late to get a Battle Fury. If he got it now, that would still be late.
This is one of the downsides to running that jungle Enigma, is Arteezy did not get much help mid lane. Whereas the Wisp supported the Gyro mid and was able later on to get a lot out of the woods when they cleared the stacks.
Yeah, and they did use PPD's Jakiro mainly to control the top lane and keep away the Beastmaster, which worked to some extent.
But he caught up with Ancients.
Yeah, and it didn't work as well as the Radiant safe lane did either. So perhaps in this game, PPD might have wanted to put a little more emphasis on giving Arteezy a good start, because if they played Jakiro together with the Ember Spirit, maybe he can get some more farm in that mid lane, but he's just lost on his own.
Dendy now picking up a bounty run. Honestly, I mean, as much as I'd love to gloat over the Pudge, he hasn't really done that much. He's won 1 and 4, but
it's not what he's doing. Yeah. It's what he's preventing from happening that I think is actually the bigger part here. EG cannot play their lineup the way they want to because they don't know where Dendy is. And if you can have a hero who doesn't do anything, quote unquote, and he does a lot,
yeah,
then you're in a really good position.
And it's not just, if Dendy's missing, it means 3 heroes are missing immediately, because you got the Wisp and the Gyrocopter. They'll always be together. Now with Beastmaster having Boots of Travel, NaVi can instantaneously bring 4 heroes to any engagement if all their cooldowns are ready. So EG almost have to 4-man at all times, or they almost are guaranteed to be outnumbered in a clash. Speaking of a clash, they are smoked. And they get eyes on Dendy. They jump in with a clap to start. He has a gem, so it's a pretty big death if they lose him, and it looks like they will. Gem hits the deck, claimed by Fear. There was a dink on Zai. It's still only a Pudge down, but losing a gem there, that's quite nice for EG.
It's a 1,500 gold swing, pretty much.
And all they committed was a BKB charge on Fear, end of the day. Really nothing else. That's a nice pick.
And if there's one thing EG are one of the best teams at in the world, it's freezing the game. Just buying time and not getting caught out, just slowly but steadily farming. The problem is, what they're used to doing in those kind of games is that they farm evenly or better than their opponent. But Kvothe is worth the same as the other 2 highest net worths. Like, he is Brewmaster and Enigma combined right now. Give this guy an Aegis and you...
They better not
pretty much almost won the game. Like, that's how extreme this is.
They better not lose him, though.
Yeah, that's true. He's worth a lot of money and experience.
This guy is a floating bag of gold to EG right now. But finding him and picking him off is a much different matter. They continue to be forced to roam around as a unit, and that frees up other heroes like FNG to get aggressive. He's managed to farm his level 2 ultimate. Meanwhile, PP,
and a blink.
He's almost keeping up in levels with Zai, who's only level 13. Not that far ahead of the line. Yeah, and the blink as well. They've got double blink now. Funix actually had his. He's building towards the Ags at this point. So you've got 3 heroes with massive initiation range. Blink Hex, Blink Impale, Hook. Actually, Blink Hook. Then he's got his own Blink. And the Blink Roar. That's a lot of gap close.
Good luck.
Yeah.
He just...
Yeah, good.
I cannot believe this. He has more than 10 CS per minute, 28 minutes in, which very few heroes generally accomplish. Gyrocopter can do it if you stack for him and he gets free farm, and he has got everything he wants in this game. But we mostly see heroes, like, which heroes do you think generally get 10 CS per minute, 28 minutes in? Anti-Mage comes to mind.
Naga, maybe.
Free farm. Naga, Terrorblade, Illusion-based farmers, and Anti-Mage, I think, are generally the only ones who pull it off. But man, this...
Maybe a Tiny as well. But normally
that's possible.
More
with
normally
an IO.
the Wisp at its side, yeah.
With an IO. But again, yeah, it's also a Gyro with an IO. So it kind of amplifies his farm by, I don't know how big a percentage, but I don't think he would have been at 300 without an IO.
He's got Satanic.
Yeah. He is not going to be killed twice when he has a BKB. So the only way EG can approach this next fight that I believe Navi will inevitably push into the base very soon.
Uh-oh. I think our stream is...
They're going to have to go for the IO, I think. Or, well, for someone else than Kvothe. There's no other way.
Yeah, we seem to have a frozen stream on our hands, so I'm going to try to... Hopefully we can get this fixed. Let's see, are we coming back? No, we just got a black screen now. That is not an improvement. All right, hopefully our producer is working on it. Well, in the meantime, it's a radio cast, guys. Havos will take the Aegis. And Navi with a massive gold lead at this point. Well, not gold lead, but just momentum lead. Up by 5k gold, 7.5k experience, and they smoke straight out of the pit. Havos, the seemingly unkillable copter, on the move.
I don't know what you do as EG. It's...
Oh, hey, we've got the stream back.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's good news.
Okay, so it's
oh, well, I know what you need to do, but it's so extremely difficult that I don't think they can. But they have to ignore Kvothe. They can't kill him. It's just out of the question. So you need to probably try to smoke around and initiate from the back. And
okay, that sounds nice, but he's breaking high ground right now.
Yeah.
So you better go soon.
They need to preferably focus down the IO and secondarily the Lion. The Pudge takes too long relative to how much he's worth. Same story for the Beastmaster. It's... Well, I don't know. Midnight Pulse is going to buy some time. Arteezy is still getting some farm here. He will get his Battle Fury 31 minutes in with only a drum and a bottle combined with it. He is very, very poor. But, well,
they went for a hook, but Havos body blocked it.
Got him.
Mercy for EG. He's an EG bodyguard, but only for now.
Yeah.
Soon he'll turn on his masters. And they will continue their siege. He's up to 21k net worth. Hook was there again. Off the mark. As Navi continue to slowly worm their way towards this base. They're not committing too much, but they don't need to either because nobody from EG is leaving that base. They're all just sitting inside of it, forced to defend. All they have to really clear these waves easily is that Arteezy Battle Fury, but that does not clear out the Gyrocopter, who could just start flacking off your tower and zoning you way back. They do stop, killing off most of the wave, but every time that these creeps come in, Havos can get 2-3 flak shots off and begin to work down the tower. They managed to ice path him. Hook shot searching once more. It just takes one hook send.
That's what Navi are waiting for. All of this is just a setup for Dendy to land a hook. When that happens, they will initiate. They'll get a kill, maybe even more. And then should the team fight break out, they're probably the favorites in that by quite a stretch as well. But nope. Time to back out. There's too much farm on the bottom lane, too much split pushing here. Or, well, not really split pushing, but the wave itself is just pushed out for a while. And Funnick will go down to farm here. So EG is successfully defending for now, but what's coming with it, right? There's no progress for items this way.
Arteezy is, it's like 2.5 times now, and it's closing on 3 times in terms of net worth. And it's still, it's not just the net worth. It's like you said again, they don't have single target against one very fat carry. Like, if you would have Doom with an X now or something, then maybe it doesn't matter. If he's farmed enough that you can just jump on the gyro, potentially take him out of the game with a refresher so they can't relocate him, but there's nothing of the sort for EG. It's all AoE. Maybe they can farm up a Hex at some point. They need more time.
And I think if there's a few carry players in the world that are extremely good in this position, like better than others, and I would put Vost as one of them because he has a tendency to play over-aggressive, but that also means that when he has that insane lead, he is not afraid to use it.
And a hook. Got him again. Zai gets zapped, and Zai gets got. NaVi with the pickup, but they look for more. They also roared Universe. Secondary kill incoming. He force staffs right into Havost's waiting arms, make it a mega kill streak. Relocate was expended, but well worth it for that kill, and they're going to be in position to push through. This tower top lane, not long for this world. Arteezy will slowly try to split push bottom, but Sind, Ember does not break buildings. He only clears waves, not until super, super late game. And NaVi break buildings quickly. You mentioned the attack speed buffs. They've got Inner Beast now max. That's a bonus 45 coming from the Beastmaster. Your Wisp with the overcharge max gives another 70 and reduces incoming damage by 20. Plus he's got Satanic BKB and probably soon enough a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Not to mention Tether to boot with that bonus. Move speed and just general mobility in fights. It's a super copter that has an Aegis.
It's funny to think about it, though, when you look at the gold lead, right? It's 7,500 for NaVi, which is...
It doesn't sound that big.
That's less than Hvost is ahead of the Enigma. So all the other heroes on EG are actually doing better. It's just like the world against Hvost, and Hvost is going to win that. That's like the scary part.
I feel like they have to fight when the Aegis is not up.
Yeah,
like you said, maybe you can kill him once, but twice,
They're going to have to wait for the Aegis to expire, lock him down completely.
About to. So NaVi don't end up breaking base with the Sages.
Yeah. It's a pretty good accomplishment for EG here to not lose a lane of barracks, to be honest. At this point, it was to be expected that NaVi would have gone for the siege, but they respect EG a lot here. Don't overcommit. And I think they could have played a little more aggressively because of how extremely farmed Vost is and how he likes to play aggressively, and this is the kind of situation where I feel like it's very... It's the correct play, basically, to play a little more aggressive here. But at the same time, well, you could also say, I mean, why not just farm some more? How often do you see this? Okay, just the net worth.
It's a glorious feeling for Hvost, right?
He's the
king of the world. He's like Jack in Titanic, you know, he owns everything, and he wants to savor the feeling a bit longer.
This is a good pickup from Universe. I think this is the best item right now. He got a Dagon on the Elder Titan. So of course this will effectively deal pure damage when Natural Order is on the target. So if he manages to level this up a couple of times, this might be a way of bursting down Hvost before he starts using the Satanic in the fights. They need more damage, they need single target damage, and Universe will have to bring it because Arteezy's hero can't do it yet.
He won't be able to do it for a long time. Battle Fury and 1800 gold could have just a Daedalus, but Hvost has a completed Butterfly. The crowd applauds his farm. I want to see it in use at this point. This is like having one of those, like, you know, vaunted top secret weapons that can, you know, like you've got one plane that can kill 500 others, but it's never been used in combat.
It's like playing Civilization 2.
Let's take this thing down for a spin.
You're playing Civilization 2, everyone else is running around with spears, and you get the nuclear bomb cheat.
But you still haven't actually fought anyone because you've used diplomacy to avoid battles.
EG are like, okay, sure, we accept your ceasefire.
Okay, let's roll the Ferrari out of the garage here.
Yeah.
Take her out on the highway, and finally Hvost will oblige. Let's see what this little copter, well, soon, I guess at this point a massive copter can do. He does bring the tower down low, forces out a glyph, and now they rotate top instead. They'll clear out this wave as well. He is not saving for buyback right now, and he also doesn't have Aegis. He does have the Wisp backing him up. Vangscore sits very far back. And for EG, the one difficult part is that they don't have an instant jump aside from Fear, and that's not a stun. That's a clap into a split, into a boulder toss. So your Wisp is time to bail Hvost out. It'd be nice to have a Blink Dagger on Zai. He actually has the gold for it, but saving for buyback or maybe... Oh no, he's just going to buy it now. He decides he needs it, and I think he's right about this. They'll go in onto a Faust. The hook was searching, didn't connect. They actually managed to get a 3-hero stomp. Then the black hole, but it didn't catch a Faust. Oh no, that's trouble. Call down, split, BKB, throwing every single tool in the arsenal the way of EG. Most importantly, though, black hole's down. And they've used split. They've used everything. The Earth Panda just slowly wades into the fight, but accomplishes little. It actually falls here, which ends up saving him a bit, as the Wind Panda, I believe, was still alive. They managed to kill off the Beastmaster. They do hold their base for now. It cost them a pretty penny, to be sure. A black hole, a brew split. But Avos got fairly close to dying there. If he was actually caught in the black hole, Sid, it's possible he would have.
This is so well played by EG. Not losing a hero there is pretty remarkable, to be honest. The black hole from Zai wasn't good, and he even got cancelled by the Roar, and after that, they still didn't lose a single hero. They zoned out NaVi mainly with the Ice Path of PPD and managed to reset. And I mean, sure, you've used your black hole, but I don't think NaVi want to push this until the Beastmaster is there, so it's more breathing room. Arteezy is now starting to get quite a bit of bank, and I think if you're Arteezy right now, you go into the Daedalus right away, and you get 2 of them, probably.
Okay. He doesn't have 1 yet, but considering how poor he's been, yeah, he felt really fun. Oh no, reeled him in. You just keep on waiting with this punch. Finally, the opportunity strikes, and it's not just him. It's a double for Havost. The little copter that could is now the big, bad gyro. And he surges forward with the tier 3 falling. NaVi, I mean, none of us gave them a huge shot after how questionable they looked in the tiebreakers. They barely even made it into the winner's bracket to begin with, but they're a team that just seemed to find their momentum at Starladder so often. And, well, perhaps that old magic returns. They'll bring down the mid lane of Rex. They head towards top. There's still no black hole. For a solid 70 seconds, there's no glyph available. The brew split will be ready. The Ember has bought a Daedalus. They know they have to fight now, but it's such a tall order. Avos will be caught out. There's actually no mana for a relocate. That could be a slight issue for Vangscore if Avos gets burst down. But he got off a single flak. That's almost all his HP down. The 4-staff used defensively to get him out. They may want to just send Vangscore to get some mana here. He gets changed again. They continue to slowly pursue. But Avos tries to lifesteal creeps. They're slowly closing. He still has that BKB lurking. Impale attempted by FNG. They did not want to let their copter go down, and now they continue to retreat. Arteezy marching in. EG feeling a little bit desperate to make a play, but they just can't do it. So NaVi dodged the bullet of losing a fight after taking that Rax, which, considering how big their lead's begun to get, 14k gold, could have really hurt them. And most importantly now, they'll have relocate mana. And Vangscore will be able to purchase his next item. It's a 6-slotted gyrocopter, essentially. 6k gold on Havost. So at this point, his items kind of stop mattering, Sid. It's more about the rest of his team and about if EG can counterplay. He's done farming.
Yeah, we're reaching the point now, and I said about 45 minutes in, Havost will probably be able to do it alone as far as doing the physical damage and carrying this, and he's still in the zone right now. But should the game get delayed another 20 minutes, Arteezy will start getting strong. I think the Elder Titan will get his Dagon 5. They might even get a refresher on the Enigma or a Shiva's Guard or something like that. We could see Fear transitioning into like a fighting build on the Brewmaster with an Abyssal Blade, which I think would be a really good pickup at this point. Or a Kiras for the team, whatever they feel like is more valuable. But like, that's the thing. Vost will not get bigger now. So NaVi arguably at the peak of their strategy right now. So getting the Roche again and then ending the game, I think, is the play call.
You don't really have room for the Aegis on the gyro, but maybe you just give it to someone else like the Pudge. The Beastmaster's a pretty big tool for the Inner Beastar and the Eggs. So he'll have a lot of roars that he can bring to bear. Or even the Wisp, just to ensure that that gyro has support a bit longer. But EG set a course for the Roche Pit. They walk straight down the middle lane. Do they actually want to go in on this? The Spirit's lurking. It'll gain some vision, and Havost looks to turn. He throws out a missile. He just walks right up the hill. There's a black hole ready. Everything's online for EG, and he just doesn't care.
He knows that if they commit everything to him, he will get a relocate.
Or a hook out, or something.
Or a hook out. Like this, he can play with such confidence that I think this is when Havost has the most fun playing Dota. This is this exact situation. Maybe, you know, it doesn't happen that often that you're this far ahead. This is pretty extreme. Even if he were ahead by 5 to 10k less, that's just his type of game.
It really is.
I mean, it is probably your type of game for a lot of players when you have higher net worth than the rest of your team combined almost at this point.
He's close. What's that, 13? Oh, well, there might actually be a fight, so we'll do the math later if there's not. He's about to walk up a hill, but they do have vision. These wards from NaVi are quite good. So they generally scout these rotations from EG, and he goes back into the pit. He only gets off a few auto attacks. That Spirit, that's something he can't kill. He's not good against Ghosts, and they will go in with the clap. Fear's had enough. He says, let's duel, and he will split. Havo still reserving the flat cannon, and EG yet to fully engage. They've thrown him up in the air, and then I think they're just like, well, what do we do now? We could black hole this, but Favos will BKB. They're trying to wait that BKB out. Not so fast, Arteezy. Come over here, says Dendi. With a roar, they get that kill from Funnick, and now they chase for more. Call down. Zai has the black hole, but that first slow hits, and now he's being punished by Havos. Finished off. Who's going to get the last hit? It's actually a monster kill streak for Havos. He's 8-0-3. He's yet to die this game. They just blew a brew split, and they got absolutely nothing. They also lost their Enigma. They're going to lose Arteezy again. I believe that's a dieback for him. It is. And PBD falls. GG. NaVi on their home court run the Havos gyrocopter, the Wisp, and more importantly, the Dendi punch, and they make it work. Confidence levels have to be at an all-time high. And the crowd speaks for themselves.
Unfortunately, the crowd, the home favorite EG, not winning game number 1. The crowd is kind of...
they're a little depressed.
They're a little sad right now, but I think EG can come back for game number 2, and the crowd will be really happy with it.
Yeah, they'll be on their feet here in Kiev. They'll be cheering fully.
If there's one thing I really enjoy watching in Dota, though, it's when teams have confidence, and like with how NaVi has played in this tournament and how it's been really shaky, just the fact that they reset, they go for something they want to play, and it just seems like they're enjoying the game, right? You can just tell when players are on like their core heroes, like their absolute best heroes that they sometimes don't play for months and then suddenly pull out and have a great performance on. Kravost on the gyrocopter in this game was phenomenal. Dendi on the pudge, you said it. He wasn't doing that much, but he did what he needed to and a bit more, and he was just an assassin the whole game.
Yeah, and he was off the map the whole game, which was ideal. And I think the big thing for me is that NaVi just kind of loosened up, right? Like, they went for a draft that, go back to how NaVi was drafted at TI4. Granted, that team at that point clearly had internal issues, and they needed a change, and since then, Secret are doing great, but they were kind of tight. They kept on picking the same old stuff for them, and it just wasn't working. And this is a breath of fresh air for everyone from the old NaVi team, and with the players on Secret, the players still on NaVi. Well, Sin, with that said, it's a 1-0 lead now for NaVi in this best of 3. EG certainly capable of the comeback. They look stronger coming in. They look a little bit shaken, but if anyone can bounce back, it's probably old man Fear who will pull his team together. We'll take a very quick commercial break. When we return, we'll break down Game 1 if we have time, and then we move on to Game 2. You're watching Starladder Season 10, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. We'll be right back.